Ooh, nice and crispy right at the start of the episode. Poppy, what's going on, brother? How we feeling today?
I'm still feeling a little sleepy, to be honest with you, man. But
Still a little sleepy.
I'm hanging in there. Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, it's a beautiful Tuesday outside. We're here. It's beautiful out. It's nice outside.
Motherfucker, it's cloudy.
It's still nice outside.
It's still cloudy.
Doesn't mean it ain't nice. It's still a beautiful day in the neighborhood. We out here. We having fun. I know we're streaming. I don't know why the chat isn't up for us, but it is what it is. But hey, you're a little sleepy, but other than that, how you doing today?
Hanging in there.
Yeah, how was the weekend?
Well, I mean, it was kind of like I didn't really want it to end just because I was on vacation.
Fair.
So Sunday night was my first night back at work since vacation, and that was just miserable. So like the anticipation leading up to it was like really, really like unfortunate. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it is what it is. We all can't live on constant vacation.
We could try.
And pay bills. Those are there's the two keys. At least if you're able to, I don't know how to yet. Hit me up, let me know how. A legal way. I'm not trying to do anything illegal. But anyway, that's beside the point.
Fair enough.
How are you?
I was good. I'm good. Weekend was good. Too damn quick.
Always is.
Sunday was Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all the moms. I know we said it Friday, but we'll reiterate that again. Had some dinner with my mom. That was good. That was a good dinner. Had some steaks on the grill.
Very nice.
Cooked to perfection. A little bit of pink still in the middle. Nice and tender. It's great.
Yeah, like, you know, it's crazy. When talking about steak, I always thought that I had to have like well done. But like as I've matured, like red meat in general, right? As I've matured, I realized that if it's a little bit more than like medium, I'm not going crazy over it.
I prefer my steaks. I'll ask for medium rare, knowing that most places are going to overcook it a little bit.
Unless Texas like an achievable restaurant to go to, like Texas Red House is pretty good about it.
Yeah, if it's a nice place like that, I'll order it medium. That's how I prefer it. You know, nice medium steak that takes me places.
Right.
If I'm getting a burger, give it to me like medium well. Little more done with the ground beef versus the steak.
I've gotten to a point where I just take it straight medium all the time.
Pause.
All right. Well, look. Listen, you're the one who went directly there. All right.
You can't blame me.
I can. I did.
You can't.
Oh, I just did.
No, burger medium well. That's me right there. Steak though, give it to me medium.
I used to order it medium well all the time, but now I don't know. I think it's just something that's like it's matured with age.
As I have matured.
Yeah, as I have matured, I'm kind of like I'm okay with the possibility of getting food poisoning.
That's a day off work.
Yeah, it's a missing bit of day's wages, but
I got PTO.
I do have PTO, yeah.
We're good. But no, it was good. Saturday was a real kind of cruddy day. It rained. There was a good portion of the day where I was the only one awake in the house. Sarah was sleeping. All the cats were sleeping. I was just awake playing MLB The Show. I regret making the character that I did.
Okay, tell me why.
Because I decided to go with like a defensive
you told me this.
Right fielder. Thinking like, oh, dude, I'm just going to play in the outfield and I'm just going to gun people out. No. My character has an absolute wet noodle of an arm.
You gotta start hitting them curls, bro.
Dude, like, I legitimately think I have a stronger arm right now sitting here than my character does in MLB The Show.
That's funny.
And he's playing Double-A baseball.
So, I did forget about this, but it is kind of funny because it's my own misery, right? So, when we got back from the beach, Steph had a flat.
Oh.
On the back, we were back the morning after we came back. We were gonna go get up and go get breakfast at Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
She had a flat, so no big deal. My car was there. I drove to Chick-fil-A, drove to work. She got picked up. Everything worked out well. Her dad ended up fixing the flat, and everything's fine now. But on Saturday, she had a wedding to do.
Okay.
So it was in Baltimore. That's where she had to go. She had to go to a Marriott hotel downtown.
Okay.
So she had to be there. Early, really early. Maybe had to be there 7:30.
Okay.
Maybe 7:45. Maybe a little later. I don't know. But for a Saturday, too damn early, right?
Sure.
So I asked her, "What's the name of the hotel?" She said, "It's the Marriott at the Inner Harbor."
Okay.
Like, all right, looked it up. Drove her into the city, dropped her off. I'm like, oh, I'll let you know when I get back to your house. I was going back to her house, and I was going to sleep. Text her when I get back to her house. She FaceTimes me. I'm like, okay. I'm at the wrong hotel. I'm like, what the fuck?
Right. What?
So, there are 2 Marriotts in downtown Baltimore. The Marriott Inner Harbor is right by Camden Yards, on the other side of the Hilton.
Okay.
The Marriott that is in the Inner Harbor is named something completely different.
Sick.
It's like Marriott something waterfront.
That's the one she was supposed to be at.
That's where she was supposed to be at. And I mean, like, a Marriott's a Marriott. If you've ever been in one, they're very, like, again, like, for an achievable place to stay at, like, not like a crazy, like, 10-star hotel or whatever, which don't exist, but they're nice hotels.
Yeah.
On like interior, the room's very nice. That's where we stayed when we went to New York. But the outside of the building, it's like, why would they choose to get ready here of all places? Strange. Going to the other one, I see why they decided to get ready there. But it's weird. So she was telling me that the clients are from Philadelphia. Chose to come to Baltimore to get ready. And see, this is like one thing that if you're not from Baltimore, if you're not from Maryland, or from the Baltimore area, I should say, you don't really understand how far away things are outside of the city.
Right.
Like Essex, for example. Middle River, where my girlfriend lives. It's 20 minutes away from downtown Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like 6 miles.
Sure.
So, like, it takes you forever to get out of the damn city, and then it's smooth sailing from there. But they were getting their wedding was in Hunt Valley, right? So, like, you got to transport this entire damn party from damn near Fells Point, from Fells all the way to Hunt Valley.
Golly, man.
But again, people from Baltimore don't understand like how far places are, how far things are away from the city.
Yeah.
They're gonna take the light rail, but the light rail doesn't run that far over into the city.
Holy crap, dude.
So, yeah, that was that. So yeah, needless to say, pissed my girlfriend off Saturday morning. She told me that she was mad at me in the moment, but she realized that it wasn't completely my fault. I'll admit, was I at fault? Yeah. But then again, I wasn't completely at fault.
Oh, man, what a mess.
Because, like, of course I'm at fault. I drove her to the wrong fucking hotel. But then again, you know, she knew the address of the hotel. She didn't know which one she had to be at. But she's like, even the Starbucks dude did the same thing.
See, there you go.
Went to the other hotel. They
go.
say it happens all the time. So, did I feel bad? Abso-fucking-lutely. But then I realized, I got her there early. She finished early. It was her and another girl for the company that she worked for. So, all was right in the world. But yeah, that was my Saturday.
Okay. Yeah, much more eventful than mine. Like I said, I just played MLB The Show.
To sum it all up, I forgot all about it because it's kind of like a suppressed memory at this point.
Back burner.
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
Yeah. And then I had to drive her to Ellicott City for a trial for a wedding. Again, didn't mind. Got to spend the day with my girlfriend. It was great. But driving all that time is a pain in the ass. And like in Ellicott City, there's nothing for me to go do.
You could be a Uber driver in your part-time.
I know, I should. But like there's nothing for me to go do in Ellicott City, so I literally went and got gas, got an energy drink, and then sat in the parking lot and just waited.
Just listen to Lil Durk's new album.
No, I don't listen to that shit.
I had to pick on you for it.
I should be listening to NBA YoungBoy because apparently everybody be acting crazy with that shit.
That's because he called everybody out.
I didn't even listen to it, but no.
Apparently he called out J. Cole.
Wrong decision.
Yeah, it was a bold strategy. Bold strategy.
But you know the thing is like J. Cole is so far advanced in his career now at this point he doesn't give a shit. What does NBA YoungBoy gonna do to J. Cole?
Well, nothing. But the thing is this will help J. Cole sell more anything, more streams, more whatever. So if he does come back and he bounces back with a response, little rap beef, J. Cole is going to do better numbers than NBA YoungBoy anyway.
Oh yeah.
And like J. Cole will finesse his way through a track that NBA won't even realize that half of it is an insult towards him.
Yeah.
But it will be.
Yeah.
So, I mean, hey, there might be a day. There might be a day where
I mean, on his album KOD, he made a whole track about Lil Pump.
Right.
Without even mentioning Lil Pump once.
But if you knew the beef, you knew it was him.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't know, man. You got some Starry over there. Mm. Oh, okay. First of all, where the fuck did Starry come from? It came out of the cut. Like
it's a reimagined version of Sierra Mist. It's just rebranded Sierra Mist.
It just came out the cut. Like Sarah and I were getting Taco Bell one day, and we ordered her Sierra Mist, and they're like, "Did you mean Starry?" We're like, "What?"
Yes, Starry is just Sierra Mist.
Yeah, the guy like asked me if we want a Starry. I'm like, I didn't fucking stutter. I said Sierra Mist. Yeah, no, that's not what I said to him, but
right. Yeah, they rebranded Sierra Mist just to be Starry now. I mean, it tastes no different. It's just different branding, just to switch it up, kind of liven it up a little bit. But the thing is, it got people talking, got people buying it, right?
Yeah, it's back on the market.
Yeah, so it's definitely back on the market. This is the sugar-free. I kind of fudged up and bought a sugar-free 12-pack. But I am not hating it. I actually I like it a lot. I've always been a Sierra Mist fan.
Okay.
I blasphemy. I almost kind of prefer it over Sprite. Right. Can be quite blasphemous. But sorry, I'm a big fan.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
And it's like an interesting colored can too. Like Sierra Mist was kind of like dull. This is like pops.
Fair enough. All right, let's get into some sports talk here. Big news going on today. Doc Rivers, former Boston Celtics head coach, former Los Angeles Clippers head coach, and now former Philadelphia 76ers head coach.
You also forgot former Orlando Magic head coach.
No one remembers him for that shit.
Well, he was there.
Yeah.
He was there for it. Before Stan.
No one cares.
Should care.
No.
But yeah, Doc Rivers, one of the more respected coaches in the NBA, he was fired after his third straight season of being eliminated in the second round. We kind of talked about it last week. The NBA is a very, very unforgiving place for head coaches to be at.
Cutthroat.
Yeah, it's very cutthroat. And something that also happened I believe it was Friday or Saturday, one of the two.
The day after their series ended.
But Monty Williams, he was also fired. Relieved of his duties as the head coach of the Phoenix Suns. It's crazy. Over the last 3 years, Mike Budenholzer, not in this order, but Mike Budenholzer, Doc Rivers, and Monty Williams, they were the three winningest coaches over the last 3 years in the NBA. All have been fired.
Yeah, head coach for the Bucks, 76ers, and the Phoenix Suns. Monty Williams literally won
Coach
of the year
last year.
Last year. They were in the finals.
Yep.
2 years ago.
Won the finals 2 years ago.
No, they didn't win.
No, Budenholzer won it 2 years ago.
Yeah, they lost to the Bucks.
Yeah.
Who he was just fired as well. I told you Monty was going to get fired. I had a feeling he was gone. There was some buzz around that. And I think I said it a few episodes ago. Doc Rivers is going to be out the door if he doesn't win this series against Boston. They had the series lead, 3-2.
Mm-hmm.
They were in Philadelphia. Jaylen Brown. Well, Jaylen Brown didn't play great either. Jason Tatum shit the bed for 3.5 quarters. And you can't close out the series on your home court. I think that was like the defining moment of like for the upper management, like the GM, owner, everything like that. They were like, hey, you know what? How do you fuck this up? And if you don't win Game 7, you're out. You're done.
Yeah, and you know the thing is that these teams, they had the expectations. If you look at the Suns, that traded for Kevin Durant midseason, Devin Booker, Chris Paul, DeAndre Ayton, they have the star power. There's no reason that they should not be playing the Western Conference Finals.
Well, they have no depth. They traded it all to get Kevin Durant.
Well, I get that, but on the surface, if you look at it, there's no reason why they should be. With all the star power they have, all the potential scoring possibilities that they have, there's no reason why they should be a second round exit. Right? The Bucks. You have Giannis, the literal cheat code of the NBA.
He was injured in that first round.
Very true. He was injured in the first round. But the team expectations are still there. Drew Holiday was playing really, really good. Chris Middleton is so now at this point. But
going to be traded.
Yeah. I mean, Brook Lopez was one of the best defenders, was the best defender as a big man this past season.
I think he got first team all defense.
He did, yeah.
Him and Drew Holiday.
Yeah. So, I mean, 2 first team all NBA defenders, right? And, you probably would have had a third had Giannis been healthy a little bit more this season.
Sure. Yeah.
But the expectations are there. Same thing with the 76ers. You have the fucking MVP. You have the literal MVP of the league on your team.
I think it almost makes you wonder, did Jokic really deserve it?
Well, the thing is, the last 4 MVPs have not made a Western Conference Final or a conference final.
Well, it's fair. The 2 before Embiid were Jokic.
And then Curry.
Yeah, that's Steph.
Was it Curry? I don't know. Who won the last 4 MVPs?
Well, Jokic won the 2 previously.
Yep, they didn't make it.
It was Giannis.
He didn't make the conference finals in 2020.
That was bubble year, I believe.
Yes.
That was bubble buddy.
Yeah, that was the bubble year.
But yeah, I had a feeling Doc Rivers was going to be out. He's actually on a 9-game losing streak to close out, or to 9-game losing streak on a game clinching the conference finals. 9-game losing streak.
A series clincher to go to the conference finals.
Yep.
Yeah.
9-game losing streak.
I mean, two of his 3 final losses of the season have been in Game 7. Again, the expectations are there. You had Jimmy Butler 2 years ago. They decided to. I don't know if Doc Rivers was there yet. I think that was the year he got there. The year Jimmy Butler went to Miami, I believe. I could be wrong. He could have gotten it at the same time, but you have Embiid, you have James Harden, who's a former MVP in himself. Tobias Harris, who has been absent, but has no reason of being absent. And then you have a young up and coming star like Tyrese Maxey. You have the bench depth too.
Oh yeah,
right. The depth is there. There's no reason why you should have lost to the Boston Celtics.
Well, so Colin Cowherd, I was listening to him this morning, and I think he probably put it best. Doc Rivers is a great culture guy. He can walk into any organization and fix that culture.
Yeah.
Like he walked into Boston and he got them right.
Boston was a basement dweller at the time. The Clippers were the laughing stock of fucking LA.
Yeah, he got LA right. They were a dumpster fire.
Philadelphia, that was already on the upswing.
They had the talent, but they just couldn't get everything to like mesh together. Like the whole Ben
Right.
Simmons, Embiid thing, all of that going on. He made it work for some reason or another. So he's a great culture guy. But this is a new NBA where you have to make not only in-game adjustments, but in-series adjustments, right? So you look at Darvin Ham of the Lakers. Phenomenal in-series adjustments
Yeah.
to beat the Golden State Warriors, which we'll get to that in a little bit. Steve Kerr, phenomenal at making in-series adjustments. But it's almost kind of like, the way he described it is, it's almost kind of like Bill Belichick of the NBA. Kind of just like stuck in his ways.
Yeah.
My way worked before, it can work now. And I see the point. I don't necessarily disagree with it.
I mean, the track record's there, right? You know, I mean, Doc Rivers' whole mindset is probably, I've done it once. I've done it once doing it my way.
He's probably the biggest name in coaching in the NBA, but it doesn't mean he's the best coach or even the most feared coach.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. You got the MVP. You can't go out like you did. I mean, Jason Tatum had a complete like 180 of games. Like game 6, absolute stinker. Sucked it up for 3.5 quarters. Game 7, he let Steph Curry live in his glory for about a week.
Yeah.
Steph Curry broke the record for most points scored in a game 7. The next round of the playoffs, Jason Tatum said, one up. Scored 51 in a game 7.
But yeah, most ever points in a game 7, and I mean that kind of you know further proves my point about Jason Tatum too. Being right there is one of the best players in the NBA. That I think they would keep him over Jaylen Brown.
I thought that they were going to keep Tatum over Brown anyway, but I still like Brown better than Tatum. Brown's just more consistent.
He is, but I will say Jaylen Brown will not give you that. 51.
I will say also, if you give him the opportunity, he could potentially. The thing is, at the end of the games, like Jason Tatum takes over and he keeps the ball. Like he does not give Jaylen Brown the opportunity.
No.
You get Jaylen Brown in the right system and give Jaylen Brown the opportunity. Give him a little time. It's not going to be game 1. He's going to figure it out, but give him a little time. I think he could figure it out.
It would almost be the same adjustments that Jalen Brunson made when he got to the Knicks. Just given the opportunity to be the front man.
Hey, somebody get that kid some help. Jesus, man.
What's the Knicks?
Well, I know, but you and I called it. We literally said outside of Jalen Brunson, they don't have a consistent scorer. I think if you go back and check that box score, the other 4 starting members of the lineup didn't even make as many shots combined as Jalen Brunson did.
Interesting.
I'm serious. It was something pathetic like that. Like Jalen Brunson was the only guy on the court for the Knicks.
Let me see.
Yeah, go ahead and pull that up for me.
Attempted or made?
I think it was made.
Yeah, the rest of the starting lineup made 5 shots.
Yeah, he made 14.
5 from the field, I should say.
Yeah.
Randall did go 8 of 9 from the stripe. Barrett went 9 of 10. So I mean, it's not like they weren't not contributing. It's just from the field they just had no contributions.
Yeah, but I mean, you're looking on the other side of the ball. Jimmy Butler, 40. Bam Adebayo, 35.
No, those are fantasy points, bud.
Oh, those are fantasy points.
Yeah, Jimmy Butler had 24. Bam had 23. Strauss had 14.
There you go.
Lowry had 11 off the bench.
Perfect. Nobody else from the Knicks is doing that.
Josh Hart 11 off the bench. But I mean, you know, Julius Randle had 15. RJ Barrett had 11.
Yeah, but they don't have that consistent score outside of Jalen Brunson. That's literally what you and I said
Right.
Friday, is that Julius Randle's like a third option. Like, they got to get him a number 2 over there. Julius Randle should be the third option. Honestly, Barrett's probably gone. RJ Barrett's probably traded. He's going to be part of some package to bring in a second guy.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the whole problem with RJ Barrett is, you know, it's been the consistency issues. You know, there have been times where he's shown up and people are like, okay. That's why we took him number 2. Or number 3, whenever he got drafted.
I think it was 3.
I literally just said all. I literally said all this last week too. It literally in the exact order.
That girl looks so awkward and confused as to what is going on.
Sitting there on the stoop.
No.
Oh, standing there on the stoop.
Standing there in the black shirt.
Probably because she is. Whatever. Fuck her.
It's probably like a Tinder hookup.
With who?
I don't know. Who's she talking to?
There is it's a older lady sitting on the step, but
Oh, I can't see.
The Domino's guy lives there.
Maybe she's hooking up with the Domino's guy, getting some free.
From Frieza.
Maybe. Yeah.
Would you hook up with a Domino's guy for some Frieza?
No.
What if you were down bad enough?
I'd have to be really down bad.
On both accounts.
Yeah. For sure. No, absolutely not.
Yeah, I mean the Knicks, they got to do something. You know, they've been stuck in this mediocrity for the longest time now. I mean, this is the most successful they have been, and it literally took them, by a lot of people's accounts, overpaying a dude, Jalen Brunson, initially.
That's what everybody thought. Everybody thought they overpaid him
to get this far. Ultimately, it worked out for them. Good for them. Good for Jalen Brunson. Really cashed in on his opportunity. But they got to do something.
Yeah, they gotta start making some moves, figuring something out. Get that man some help. Goodness gracious! I mean, my man is really, really trying out there. But I know we talked a lot about Doc in that series. But Monty getting fired. Where did the I think I just unclicked.
You did.
Ha! Peach, do it. I just reclicked it. Don't do it. Ha ha. Where do the Suns go from here? Will DeAndre Ayton be on the move? Because I think the big thing is like Ayton and Williams and Monty, they didn't get along.
And, you know, I think it was the whole thing of, I think Monty saw the potential, just like I think everybody really does in DeAndre Ayton. I mean, I still think he's a guy who can be one of the best big men in the NBA.
For sure.
Why is he not at the moment? I really don't know. All the tools are there. I guess it's just a mindset. And maybe Monty's whole thing was, okay, well, why can't you do this?
Well, who's to say it's not the offensive scheme that Monty was putting together?
And that's very true also.
Like, hey, we got these two guards out here. They're phenomenal.
And now you have fucking Kevin Durant, too.
Now we're adding in Kevin Durant. At the time, they had drawn a blank on their name. Got traded to the Nets.
Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges.
Yeah, Mikal and Cam Johnson. Cam Johnson, great off the bench. Mikal was a great 3 for them. Maybe it was just Monty's like offensive game plan that didn't really involve Ayton, but then got pissed at Ayton when he didn't produce.
It could have been. As far as next steps for the team, I really think Ayton's going to be on the move. I think his contract is too high for the production that he's giving them. I think somebody else will be willing to take it on, thinking, okay, look, we can probably we might be able to figure this out a little bit better. A team with the space in order to facilitate a deal like that. At this point, they have Kevin Durant, who's a max player, Chris Paul is a max player, and Devin Booker is a max player. Maybe not all max contracts, but they're all max quality players, right?
Yeah.
I think a team that would make a lot of sense for DeAndre Ayton to go to is Houston.
Okay.
Because Houston they have a lot of assets that are tradable, and they have the space in order to take him on. Right now their top two players are Jabari Smith and Jalen Green, guys that got back-to-back drafts. Right, they're really not paying anybody an exorbitant amount. Like they have a guy in Houston. His name is Alperen Sengun, who's a really, really good center. He's kind of like a poor man's Jokic. He does a little bit of everything.
Okay.
I think he would probably be a really good piece to move to the to Phoenix in exchange for him. Maybe some draft capital as well. I think that would be a pretty good move. But I think Houston would be a really good move for a really good place for DeAndre Ayton. I also think you got to move off Chris Paul. Just because, like, I get it. Chris Paul's a first ballot Hall of Famer, but he's 38. You know, he had that one good season the year they went to the finals.
Mm-hmm.
It almost feels like you have to get ready to make a move to kind of shift the direction of your franchise.
Well, they just got that whole new owner who came in guns hot, decided, all right, we're going to trade for Kevin Durant.
Right, and I think something similar could happen. A young guard somewhere that is maybe wants a little bit more playing time, wants a little bit bigger of a role, but the team is not willing to do it. Somebody such as shit. That was his name.
What team?
Sixers. The fuck is his name?
I don't know. What position?
Guard. Maxey. Tyrese Maxey.
Was it Maxey you were thinking of?
Yeah, Tyrese Maxey.
I was going to say Maxey, but I was like, he's got a pretty big role over there.
But I think a guy like Tyrese Maxey could want to expand into a bigger role. Maybe, I would say Jaylen Brown, but that doesn't make no sense. Because they already have a 2 and a 3 there, so it's kind of just like a fucking logjam. I don't know, but I think Chris Paul has got to be on the move also. I think your definite building blocks right now. Your number one building block right now is obviously Devin Booker. Like him, hate him, it doesn't matter. Devin Booker is one of the best scorers in the NBA, no doubt about it. Having Kevin Durant there to take some of the load off of him is going to be a great help as well, because Kevin Durant also provides that defensive versatility.
The big thing that the Suns need is they just need a more consistent scoring big man.
Yep.
That can play some defense. To be honest with you, Karl-Anthony Towns makes perfect sense there.
He does, but the only problem with that is you're going from the contract of Ayton to a higher contract of Karl-Anthony Towns.
I mean, I understand that. I'm just saying that makes the most sense. I think Karl-Anthony Towns is going to be on the move as well this offseason.
Excuse me. This is going to be a busy offseason for sure in the NBA. There's going to be a lot of moving pieces. Karl-Anthony Towns, he's going to be one. James Harden's going to be out of Philadelphia for sure.
Yeah, DeAndre Ayton.
Yeah, DeAndre Ayton I think will be on the move. Chris Paul will more than likely be on the move.
Maybe Julius Randle, depending on what the Knicks do.
That's tough to say because I think Julius Randle does provide a lot of benefits to New York. I just think they would benefit a lot if they had a more consistent threat outside of Julius Randle.
I think two shockers you got to watch out for. One more so than the other, but two shockers you got to watch out for here. I'll wait and give you the most shocking one last. Toronto moving off of Siakam.
I've been expecting that for a while now. I'm surprised it hasn't happened. I think they're going to hit the reset button.
Yeah, hit the reset button.
Yeah.
Biggest shock I think that could happen. Portland's tired of not getting it done. Damian Lillard on the move.
I would rephrase that. I would phrase it as Damian Lillard's tired of not getting it done in Portland.
Well, Dame has this like weird gratitude and loyalty to Portland. Same with Bradley Beal to Washington.
Well, it's almost the same. It's like, okay, well, coming out of high school, Weber State was the only place that gave Dame a shot. Portland was the only place that gave Dame a shot. It makes sense. I mean, he's a little guy.
He is a loyal guy. You know? He's got to learn to cut those ties, though. I think Dame is going to be on the move. I think Portland tries to maybe reset this thing. They have a lottery draft pick this year. They're probably not going to get one of the top 5 or anything like that. We saw the odds earlier. I forget what they were. But
so do I.
Portland does have a top 14 pick this year, though. So maybe they try hitting the reset button. Whoa, what's so funny?
The Bowie Bay Sox tweeted it's over to celebrate the long-awaited ownership change of the Washington Commanders with us on Thursday, May 18th. Anyone named Josh or Harris receives a free general admission ticket. Those in team gear will get discounts with a chance to throw out the first pitch. Commanders ownership change celebration. Bowie Bay Sox.
That's fantastic.
That is funny. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, I think Portland maybe tries to hit the reset button.
I mean, that's a team that's, I think, is long overdue for a reset. Because, I mean, they're not going anywhere.
No.
They're not going anywhere. They've made a lot of questionable decisions. Because, I mean, the whole thing is, like, we still have Damian Lillard. Let's still try to be somewhat competitive. Right? And you're not doing enough around him to keep him healthy.
Sure.
You know, he takes on way too much responsibility of being the only guy on the court. And who knows? I mean, they did draft Shaedon Sharpe last year, so he could do something with it this upcoming season. They do have a pick. Jeez, what the hell are their odds of getting the number one?
Which, by the way, NBA lottery is tonight.
10.5%. I think they're the top 5 pick. I think. Interesting.
Fair enough. Lottery is tonight. We will find out the top 14 draft picks tonight.
Yeah.
What is it? Houston, Detroit, and San Antonio have the best odds to get the number 1 overall pick. So we'll find out where they draft tonight. Should be very, very exciting.
Yeah, when it comes to the NBA draft, there's one prospect and one prospect only everybody's talking about. I mentioned him once before on the show. It's Victor Wembanyama from the Metropolitan 92ers or some shit like that. It's some weird team name.
He's in France.
Yeah. Metropolitan 92s. I think that's what the fucking team name is. But yeah, French big man, 7'5". He's insane. Crazy.
Yeah.
Handles, shoots the ball well, incredible defender.
Scrawnier than that lamppost over there.
Yeah, I mean he's rail thin, but that's something that's easy to fix.
Yeah, once he comes to America, he can definitely put some weight on.
Yeah, put some weight on. They'll get him on a good meal plan and all that type of stuff. Get him to bulk up but not lose any sense of the skill that he has now. So he's definitely gonna be the number 1 pick. A lot of people are saying that he is the best prospect we have seen come out of the NBA draft since possibly LeBron James.
Fair enough. Forgot to mention this earlier. Did you hear Doc Rivers after Game 7? Reporter asked him, "Have you ever seen a performance like that before in your life?"
Yeah, he said, yes, in this building back in 2014.
Once before.
Yeah, when LeBron scored 45.
By a man named LeBron James.
45. What it was? 45, 15, and 5. It was insane. It's the craziest LeBron James performance I've ever seen. Because he was everywhere.
That was the game where, like, the meme of him, like, mean mugging.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Mass LeBron.
And ultimately, that was the game that broke up the Celtics.
Yeah.
That was the game because ultimately it was 3-2 at the time. Miami beat Boston in Boston, came back to Miami, and then won to go on to the Eastern Conference Finals or the NBA Finals. I forget which one it was.
I think it was the finals.
Regardless, he ended up moving on, winning the title that year. Because LeBron was just on another level after losing the year before. But yeah, that was the game that ended up breaking up the Ray Allen, Kevin Garnett, and Paul Pierce trio.
And Rajon Rondo.
He stuck around.
He stuck around, but
he stuck around a little while longer.
Yeah, but LeBron broke up that dynasty, the Celtics. Late 2000s, early 2010s dynasty. Did LeBron just break up the Golden State Warriors dynasty?
It's tough to say.
Like, is that over?
That's really tough to say. Of course, you have to give LeBron his flowers, right? I saw a crazy stat today. Jokic is about to be, tonight, will be his 60th career playoff game.
Mm.
This is LeBron James' 65th career conference finals game.
I mean, he went on a stretch of like 9 straight finals appearances, so that makes sense.
8 straight.
8 straight.
4 with Miami, and then another 4 when he got to Cleveland.
Yeah. God bless.
Which is, I mean, it's crazy to think about. But like I said, you gotta give LeBron his flowers, right? So he's always been so dominant when it comes to playoff time. This time is no different. Game 6 in LA, they got the job done.
Called it.
Well, we both did.
Well, I said like early on, like, yeah, I think the Lakers close this out in 6. They'll win all the home games. They'll lose the one in Golden State, which they did. They got mopped up. Game 5 in Golden State.
They just got hot, you know. Yeah.
Then wait back to Los Angeles. Austin Reeves burying half-court shots at the buzzer. Dennis Schroeder getting ejected for kissing a basketball that Draymond Green's holding.
Is the dynasty over in Golden State? I don't know. That's a good question. Because there is a rumor that, well, this is not a rumor, but the GM of the Warriors contract is up.
Really?
Yeah, his contract is up. There is some questions whether or not he will be returning. I mean, as long as Steph Curry is still in Golden State, they're always gonna have a fighting chance,
for sure.
But I think it's finally caught up with Klay Thompson. I don't think he's not a guy you can rely on.
Oh, dude, he was terrible in that Game 6.
Night in and night out. You cannot rely on him anymore.
His contract's worth like $40 million next year.
It's insane. So even if you wanted to move off Klay Thompson, that's damn near impossible.
Yeah, they would have to like restructure his deal. However, you could. I don't even know if you could do that in the NBA.
I think you just like extend it. I don't even know if restructuring is a thing. Because it's all fully guaranteed.
True.
They're all fully guaranteed deals, but his contract's atrocious. His play was even worse. You have Draymond, who I don't think anybody knows what the hell's going to go on with him, because Draymond was more worried about congratulating LeBron after Game 6 than, like trying to be with his team in Game 6.
Yeah, that Golden State group is super, super weird. People are saying, like, oh, you owe it to Klay Thompson to keep him around and let him retire a Warrior. You got to keep those 3 together, Draymond, Steph, and Klay. Like, you got to keep those 3 together. But do you?
I mean, nowadays, if there's money involved, you don't owe people shit. If what I'm paying you is not worth your production on the floor, I don't owe you a fucking thing.
Yeah, and it's going to be incredibly tough to ship Klay off to a team when he's set to make $40 million a year.
Right.
Like, you're going to have to send him to bumfuck Egypt where they ain't shit.
Right.
Like, I don't even know if Orlando would take on that contract.
And the problem is with Klay Thompson is he's never been... What you doing, honey?
Just delivering some mail.
The door was open yesterday and Ziggy barked at him.
Good.
Scared the hell out of me.
Uh-huh.
But, the problem with Klay Thompson is he's never been a number 1 guy.
No, he hasn't.
He's been a very, very intimidating number 2. I mean his game just doesn't translate to being a number 1 type of guy. He's more so of a catch and shoot type of player.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, you look at games where he scored 50, 40, whatever his career highs are, but they've all been catch and shoot opportunities. If you don't have that guy who can facilitate the ball like Steph Curry does, like Draymond Green does, it's very hard to get those opportunities. As good of a shooter you can be, it's a lot harder to make those shots when somebody's on you as opposed to if they find you wide open.
For sure. Absolutely.
So no, I mean, you don't owe the only person you owe something to is Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Steph Curry is the only reason why that team is relevant by any stretch of the imagination.
Yeah, but then there's also rumors that people within that Warriors organization are tired of Jordan Poole. So, like, do you move off of him? Do you move off of Klay Thompson or Jordan Poole? Which one do you move off of? The guy that's costing you $40 million a year that's not producing, or the guy that averages 26 points a game when Steph Curry's not on the floor?
Last time I checked, Draymond Green was the one who soiled that relationship.
Well, and
I
don't think Draymond just punched him just cause.
But then again, like, what, like, how bad can someone say something to you to make you want to punch someone in the face? It's sports.
It probably wasn't one thing.
Fair enough.
It was a collective. Michael Jordan punched a teammate.
I mean, very fair, but
I'm not comparing Michael Jordan to Draymond Green, but
yeah,
Michael Jordan punched a teammate. And to be honest with you, if you remember with the whole Draymond Green punching Jordan Poole thing, Steve Kerr was not mad that Draymond punched Jordan Poole. He was mad that it got released to the public.
Yeah.
Like, when he did the whole press conference, he wasn't like, yeah, you know, Draymond should have done that, blah, blah, blah. He was mad that it got released to the public. He wasn't mad that Draymond punched him. And Draymond's taken shots in the past on his podcast before Game 6. He's like, yeah, you know, we just need a big game from pretty much everybody but Jordan Poole. Like, he named off everybody except Jordan Poole. Klay. He said GP, Gary Payton. Moses Moody's given us some good minutes. Myself, Steph,
but
Wig.
I mean, the whole problem is that this is now twice that just to answer your question, it's Jordan Poole. This is now gonna be twice where Draymond Green runs a teammate out of town.
True.
Think about that. Like at what point do you have to sit back and think to yourself, okay, he ran KD out of town. That could be a million one things as to why.
It's really number 3. Boogie.
That's a little less publicized.
Oh yeah, it's less public, but
yeah, but no, exactly. But I mean the whole thing with KD, they were yelling at each other in the middle of a game.
Mm-hmm.
In the middle of a game, Kevin Durant leaves the next offseason.
Yep, he gone.
Next offseason, no thought. Now you're having problems with another teammate, Jordan Poole. Jordan Poole's fault, Draymond Green's fault. That's not important. The problem is now that you're now forcing another teammate out of town.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely something to be said about it when 2, 3, 4 people have a problem with you. It's not them.
Right. Like they're not the problem. It'd be one thing if like Jordan Poole was like yapping at this person, yapping at that person, yapping at this person, and like 4 different teammates have punched him in the face, like in practice.
Right.
That's one thing, right? But I think Draymond Green is the big issue, man.
Well, unfortunately, I don't think he's going anywhere. He's the defensive, like, stud that they have there. He's their, like, heart and soul defensively. He's a great spark. He energizes the team. I don't think Draymond Green's going anywhere.
But and that's something that's really concerning, because if he's like your best defender on the team, like the guy who you rally around defensively, he hasn't made an All-NBA defensive team in years.
I just work here. I have no idea.
You know, that's something. I mean, if anything, I think Andrew Wiggins is a better defender than he is.
I mean, I told you at the start of the series, I thought Andrew Wiggins was probably the most important piece for the Warriors. Like, what does he bring offensively, defensively? He was going to draw the LeBron James matchup defensively most nights. But then what can he do on the opposite side of the floor and scoring the ball?
Right.
It's very important.
See, the problem that I have with the NBA is that players are way too buddy-buddy.
Oh, yeah.
In season. NFL, it's the same way. MLB guys don't get to see each other as often, but I mean, like, they'll have conversations throughout the time. But NBA players are way too buddy-buddy with each other.
Yeah, I mean, when I went to the Orioles game, Jorge Mateo was standing out in like just past second base talking to like Randy Rosarena and like Wander Franco. Like they're just standing there talking, laughing, having a good time. I started yelling for Jorge to cup check one of them.
Oh my God.
Just just out of fun, like Jorge, cup check. Like I know that like they all talk and have fun and like there's so many different cultures and ethnicities that play in the MLB.
Right.
That like Jorge Mateo probably has like 3 people on the Orioles that speak his language fluently. So like he probably grew up playing with Wander Franco.
Jorge Mateo is Felix Bautista's interpreter.
On the field, yes.
On the field. Yeah. He's the fucking interpreter for Felix Bautista.
Yeah, when somebody has to go out to the mound to talk to Felix Bautista, it's Jorge has to come in from short.
Yeah, Jorge has to come in, Adley's coming up, and either the pitching coach or Brandon Hyde is coming out.
Yeah.
It's 5 of them standing there.
But Jorge has to interpret back and forth.
But Jorge has to be there.
Yeah.
All the time.
But I don't think Jorge's English is all that great either. Like I know when he does a post-game like interview or whatever, he has an interpreter there. Fun fact, not Felix Bautista.
To be honest with you, I don't think Felix Bautista speaks English.
He probably doesn't.
I genuinely, he has to speak like the most broken English there is.
Yeah. Remember when, I think it was just last year, Stephen A. Smith called out Shohei Ohtani for not speaking English.
He's a clown. I do not like Stephen A. Smith.
Dude, I watch Get Up every morning. There's every Thursday. I don't have to leave for work until like 10 or so, a little bit after.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as First Take comes on, I turn the TV off.
I'm not surprised.
Every morning. I hate it. Can't stand First Take. But Game 1 of the Western Conference Finals is tonight.
Yes.
LeBron James and the well-rested Los Angeles Lakers are going up to Denver to take on the Nuggets.
Out to Denver. Kind of up to.
Well, I said up because they're 7,000 feet above sea level.
Yeah.
So I was saying like in the like literal term of up.
Yeah.
I think it's hysterical. Both conference finals are the exact conference finals from the bubble year where everybody said like, oh, the bubble year doesn't count. It was all whatever, blah, 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 blah. Same 4 teams a couple years later back in the finals.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Lakers, tremendous story. They were 2-10 to start the season, 13th in the fucking West.
Dog shit at the trade deadline.
Horrible. They were horrible at the trade deadline. Made a bunch of moves. Now here they are, one of the 2 teams remaining out of the West.
Yeah, start from the bottom. Now we're here.
This is gonna be. I think this is gonna be a fantastic series. These teams match up really well against each other. Anthony Davis is gonna draw the matchup of Jokic.
Yeah.
I don't know. I really don't know who the Nuggets can put on LeBron.
Michael Porter Jr.
to be effective. Because Michael Porter Jr. is not a defender.
Aaron Gordon.
Okay, but then I don't know if Aaron Gordon can keep up with LeBron.
Aaron Gordon did a pretty good job of defending Kevin Durant last series. It's gonna be a good series.
I mean, this is gonna be a fantastic series. I think this is gonna be better than the Eastern Conference Finals. But I think this is gonna be a fantastic series. I still have the Lakers though.
I got the Lakers in 6 on this one.
I think they're more battle tested. They're ready. They want it more.
They have a recipe that's working right now.
They do.
Win game 1, and then just win your home games. They
Right.
did it against Memphis. They did it against Golden State. And I think they do it again here against the Nuggets. They're going to win game 1. Denver has like one more day of rest.
Yeah, it's not crazy at all.
But the rest better benefits the Lakers versus the Nuggets because the Lakers are so much older. Like they need to give LeBron that rest after that that throwback LeBron performance in game 6.
Yeah.
But I also heard like there's like a new narrative going around about LeBron James and Lakers. And we're done comparing today's LeBron to LeBron of past. Like, LeBron of past, we expected so much of him. But now LeBron's giving you 25 points a game, 24 points a game, 10 rebounds, 5 assists. That's a damn good stat line.
Yeah.
LeBron of past, we'd expect more because that's the bar he set for himself.
Right.
But that stat line is better than Jaylen Brown. So
Yeah.
like, there's a new narrative. We're done comparing LeBron of old, like old LeBron versus LeBron now.
I mean, age 38 season, LeBron James is still is your 5th leading scorer in the playoffs right now.
Yeah.
That's insane to think about. He's averaging 23 points in the fucking playoffs.
Yeah.
When Michael Jordan was 38, he was not averaging 23 in the regular season.
Yeah, I mean, there's a difference, but Denver has one more day of rest. I think the Lakers win here tonight. They've done really well in Game 1 so far. Like I said, against Memphis and Golden State. They're very lucky it didn't go to 7 with Golden State. If it did, I think Denver mops the floor with, honestly, Golden State.
Yeah. I think it would have been either team, whoever ended up.
If it went 7, Golden State was winning.
Yeah, I think Steph would have just shot the lights out of the ball.
Yeah, but Denver is 6-0 at home this postseason. If you count the play-in, the Lakers are 7-0 at home.
Yeah.
So
it's really going to come down to who can get those road wins. I think ultimately, the Lakers are better equipped to do that.
I agree.
Just because they have that killer in LeBron.
And like I told you, man, the Lakers haven't had that home playoff success like this in quite some time. No. The last time they did this, like I said, it was in the bubble. Those LA fans are going nuts.
Yeah.
That Crypto Bank Arena, Game 3 when they come back for the Western Conference Finals, tied 1-1. Good night.
Even if the Lakers don't get it done in Game 1, ultimately I think they do, just because I think they're going to be a little bit more prepared.
Well, I just like what Anthony Davis is going to be able to do defensively against Jokic versus the other way around.
Yeah, I mean, Jokic is not known as a defensive player. Jokic is just like a stat stuffer is like the worst way to describe him because he's so much more than that.
He's efficient.
He's a very, very efficient stat stuffer. Very efficient. And again, I don't like using that term because that kind of comes with like a negative connotation, right? From like when Russell Westbrook was doing it. Everybody said negative things against Russell Westbrook because he was just, he's just hunting for the triple-double. That's all he's out for. But Jokic genuinely makes his team better with the way that he plays.
Mm-hmm.
He makes things a hell of a lot easier for everybody else. But the thing is, when it comes time for Anthony Davis I think Anthony Davis is more physical than him in the post.
Yep.
I think he's a hell of a lot more athletic than Jokic.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's ultimately going to be the matchup that you have to watch out for. Is that Jokic and Anthony Davis matchup? Because there are games where Anthony Davis goes missing too.
Yeah, he goes MIA. It was before the end of that Golden State series. It was every other game.
Right. It was every other game. It was highs of the highs and lows of the lows, and then it was it just kept going the whole time, and it was easy to predict what was going to happen. But then again, you're like, why the fuck can't you play this way all the time?
Right.
Like, what is happening?
Right.
And I think Anthony Davis will have a little bit more luck against Denver than I think he will against Golden State. Because Golden State can defend you in a multitude of different ways. You can put Draymond on you, and he can be that annoying nuisance. But I think really the only person who's as athletic on Denver as Anthony Davis is MPJ, Michael Porter Jr.
Mm-hmm.
I think he's the only one who could really match up with him really well. But again,
He doesn't have the size.
He does have the size. I mean, Michael Porter Jr. is 6'11". I mean, but again, he was not known as a defensive player in high school. He wasn't a defensive player.
Anthony Davis body bag his shit.
Right. I mean, he doesn't have the frame, the size. Yes, to match up with Anthony Davis, sure, but he doesn't have the frame, which ultimately is where Anthony Davis is so much more advanced than every other big, because he has the frame, but also that skill set of a guard.
Yeah, I really like the Lakers in this series. I think they just match up very well. Their bench pieces, Schroeder, Hachimura, Lonnie Walker.
Yeah.
They're going to be all right.
Yeah, I mean, they have a lot of guys who can come off the bench. Like, they're not relying on any one guy.
Nope.
Which is dangerous.
The only bench guy that they're relying on is Jared Vanderbilt to come in and give good defensive minutes. That's it.
Right.
Which he's capable of doing.
Yeah. I mean, Jared Vanderbilt, he's gonna come in. He's gonna get you those stops when you need to get stops.
Mm-hmm.
But offensively, they're not really relying on any one person. LeBron's having his time. LeBron's going for 30. Anthony Davis is going for 30. But they're still scoring 120 points a game. There's another 60 points that aren't being scored.
Yeah, well, I mean, the role players are just taking turns with their time to shine, whether it's Reeves, whether it's D'Lo, whether it's Hachimura, whether it's Lonnie Walker, whether it's Schroeder. Like, they're all just kind of like bouncing around, like, whose turn is it today?
And ultimately, I think this is going to be the Austin Reeves series.
Really?
Yeah, I think Austin Reeves is going to have a really, really good series. I think this is the guy who... This is going to be really, really weird to say. It's something about him. I think this is going to be the guy that LeBron leans on the most.
That team respects him.
Yeah,
they trust him.
They respect him. They trust him, and he's been right here the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
He's been even. He's had moments, but he hasn't had bad moments. He's had moments where he shined, and then he's gone right back to where he was. Don't let him get going, because that's a guy who's playing for a contract too.
Yeah, well, he fired up that crowd game 6 against the Warriors.
Right.
After he buried that shot, and like he made that shot, I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I can turn this game off now.
Yeah, you can't, if you're Denver, you can't let him get going, because a guy, I mean, from where he's came from in his professional career to where he's at now, he's always had that I have nothing to lose mentality.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's about to cash in big time. I saw a report that it's projected like a 4-year, $80 million deal. If they play another 12 to 14 games, the Lakers, that could easily get him in the $100 million range. And he is going to be fighting for every single dollar that he can. And I think Austin Reeves is going to have a hell of a series.
The Lakers will not let another very good albino basketball player walk out of that building. They let Alex Caruso walk, who got like second team all defense.
Oh, I would much rather have Austin Reeves over Alex Caruso.
Well, I know, but yeah. They let him go. They let him walk. He went to the Bulls. They're not letting Austin Reeves walk.
No. So ultimately, I think he's going to be the real X factor in the series.
I love it.
If you're looking on the Denver side, I think the guy that you got to watch out for, because he's been quiet. He's been quiet, but he's still averaging 25 points a game. Jamal Murray.
I like the thought, but I'm going to disagree with you. KCP. Playing the Lakers. They traded him. I think KCP might have a little something extra to play for.
But okay, that's a good point. But at his best, what's KCP going to get you? 25?
He was kind of balling in Game 6 against the Suns.
With the minutes that he's given?
He's in the starting lineup.
Is he? I didn't know that.
He's their starting too.
Okay.
Yeah, it's Murray, KCP, Michael Porter Jr., Aaron Gordon, and Jokic.
Interesting.
Yeah, KCP's the starting too. Another great defender.
And that's where I think Jamal Murray is going to have a really big part in the series, because he's not going to have to worry about drawing that matchup of Well, it's shitty because he's either getting Austin Reeves or he's getting D'Angelo Russell. Who people forget about D'Lo.
He could pop off for 30 any given night.
Any night. But the thing is, Jamal Murray could go for 50 every game.
Jamal Murray could go for 50 every game.
Every game. I saw a clip from the bubble of him hitting that up and under layup, and I still have no clue how he pulled it off against the Lakers.
Couldn't tell you.
I still have no clue how he did it. But that is one of the most impressive layups I've ever seen in my life.
It's a damn good layup.
Yeah. Ultimately, I think the Lakers still do get it done. I think the Lakers are going to be representing the West for the NBA title.
I agree.
Game
1 tonight.
Moving on to tomorrow, Game 1, Boston, Miami. Eastern Conference Finals.
This is got to be tough for you because you love Jimmy Buckets, and your coworker's son played for the Heat.
Yeah,
but you also love Jason Tatum.
Yeah. So I mean, I really don't really care either way how the series goes. I'm okay with either result. I
think I just want Lakers Celtics for like the old time sakes of like those two historic franchises, plus like LeBron, Jason Tatum. I mean, personally, I think the Lakers fare better against the Heat versus the Celtics. I think the Celtics are going to give the Lakers more trouble.
Yeah.
I don't know, something about the Lakers and Celtics, like for old time's sakes, just feels right. Damn, they're giving the Heat no chance.
No.
They're plus 1,600 to win the title.
And the majority of people who cover the NBA are saying 4 or 5 games this is over.
Sweep. Damn.
Yeah, they're saying 4 or 5 games this is going to be over. I'm going with Miami.
In
probably 6. I'm gonna say 7.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it goes to Miami. I'm gonna say it goes to Miami at 7.
Winning in TD.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Ultimately getting it done in TD Garden. They're finding ways to get it done.
Sure.
Jason Tatum has been. I talk him up as often as I can. He's been playing very, very inconsistent in the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
When given a chance, everybody sees what he's done. 51 in Game 7 to advance, right?
But he also has the opportunity to put up a stinker like Game 6.
Right. But then he'll also turn in the game where he scores 22 points, and he has 19 or 18 of it in the fourth quarter.
Right.
So again, that's insane to think about, that he scored 18 points in one quarter of an NBA playoff game to keep your team alive. But the Heat are just finding a way to get it done. The Heat are playing like they literally have nothing to lose. And where I think the series actually does come down to is I think it comes down to the experience of Eric Spoelstra over the inexperience of Joe Mazzulla.
Okay, I like it.
I mean, Joe Mazzulla filled in for Ime Udoka halfway through the year. Not even. Very, very early on in the season. But he's never had to coach in a scenario like this. Having guys like Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, that obviously does help immensely.
Sure.
Right? But Eric Spoelstra has been here. He's done it before. I think he'll be able to make the adjustments as needed. He has the personnel to make the adjustments. I like Miami. Very close. Very close. I think we're in for another historic performance by Jason Tatum. At some point in the series, another historic performance. But ultimately, I think it's going to be the consistency of what Jimmy Butler is offering you. That is what's going to put Miami over the top. He's averaging the most points in the playoffs right now by a full 3 points, I believe.
Something like that.
His consistency is what's going to keep them alive longer. Are the Celtics going to have times where they're hitting every shot, they're not missing, they're playing great? Yes, absolutely. But Jimmy Butler is going to still keep playing at that very high level that he has been. And him averaging 30 every single game, I think is going to outlast guys from the Celtics having to go for 40 just to keep them in the game.
It's fair.
Both are veteran teams. They've both been here before. They both know what it takes to get it done. Ultimately, I just like Miami more.
That's fair. I think both of these series are kind of go either way series.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like of course, it's like it's the last 4 teams available. Like, of course, could go either way.
But there are times like you look at series and you're like, okay, this is what I expected to happen, but I don't expect this to last very long.
Mm-hmm.
Case in point, what was it last year? Atlanta went to the fucking Eastern Conference Finals.
Yeah, where the hell did that come from?
Right. 2 years ago, Portland did.
The Mavs.
Yeah, the Mavs. So I mean, like, there are times where you look at the series and you're like, okay, good on this team. I genuinely think this other team is just gonna beat the shit out of them. Like,
Yeah,
this
team's just hot right now.
They're hot. They're gonna cool off eventually.
Mm-hmm.
These 4 teams, the Nuggets have been playing the best out of all the teams.
Oh yeah,
that's not even up for a fucking discussion. The Nuggets have been playing the best out of every single team, but the Lakers have been playing really, really well.
They've been playing the best defense.
They've been playing the best defense in the playoffs. Boston just got out of a dogfight.
Oh yeah,
An absolute dogfight. And Jason Tatum is still showing people like, hey, I'm still here. I may not have been here all series, but when I'm needed, I'm here. And Jimmy Butler's just showing everybody that they were wrong about him.
I have no idea who to pick in this matchup. I think I want to go Boston in 6.
I don't think it's going to be 4 or 5. Miami's going to fight way too hard.
I think I just like Boston's defense a little bit more than I like Miami's offense. Because it's pretty much a 2-man show for the Miami's offense. It's Butler or it's Adebayo. Like, it's those two, and then everybody else just kind of fill in the pieces.
Yeah.
I think I like Boston's defense. Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, all taking turns at guarding Jimmy Butler. You can kind of rotate those 3 in there and give him different looks defensively, and keep guys out of foul trouble. Like, you can swap any of those 3 guys onto Jimmy Butler, and they're going to give you some pretty good defense.
I will say this about Jimmy Butler too. Right now, I think he's unguardable.
Well,
right,
I'll give you that.
I think if there was an award for the best player in the playoffs, I think it should be Butler, hands down.
It's fair, but they can rotate these 3 guys onto him, and make it tough for him offensively. So I don't know. I think I like Boston in 6 here. I mean, they did just play Game 7. I get that, but that was a home Game 7. Now they're getting a home Game 1. Like, they didn't travel at all.
Right.
That helps.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I don't think this is the Jason Tatum show, Game 1. I think this is going to be a team win, Game 1 for the Celtics, but I think this ultimately goes 6.
Yeah, I mean, people saying this is going 4 or 5. I think that's crazy. I think Miami won the division, right? Crappy division, but
they won it.
But they still won it, and I think a lot of people do tend to forget about that. Mm-hmm. Miami started the year off hot. Started off the year really, really good. But injuries caught up, and they just started falling off a little bit. I genuinely think people have forgotten about how good Miami actually is.
Oh, they're a very good team.
Yeah, very, very good team. Whether they actually do pull it off or not, they're not going to get swept. I can assure you that. Eric Spoelstra making adjustments is good for a game. And if it looks like it ain't going good, Jimmy Butler's at least good for 50.
At least
good for 50.
Jimmy Butler, 70 points Game 1. No, I'm kidding.
Could you imagine?
Oh, my God.
That place would go ballistic. My coworker's actually going to the game on Friday.
That's sick. I love that.
Yeah, so it's crazy. Joe Mazzulla actually used to coach against his son. So him and Joe Mazzulla are actually good friends.
Really?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, he's gonna go up. Of course, his friend coaching against his son. Of course, you know where he's leaning, but
Yeah.
um,
It's not even a question.
right. But it's cool. I mean, me and him talk about it all the time at work.
Yeah.
So it's cool. He's excited. I can definitely tell how excited he is. He did tell me that he was hoping he would only have to go to Philly.
Fair.
Right. He was hoping he didn't have to go all the way to Boston. But with that said, he's excited. He'll be there game 2. I'm sure he'll be in Miami as well. Cheering on the Heat. I'm still gonna rock with the Heat. I mean, set my personal feelings aside. I just think the Heat want it more right now. I think the Heat know they have nothing. They have nothing to lose. Nobody thinks they can do it, and I think they're just going to go out just because of that Jimmy Butler mindset. Jimmy Butler has that whole "fuck you, I don't care" mindset, you know. And I think he's going to go out and I think he's going to have a great series. Rotating Marcus Smart, Jaylen Brown, and Jason Tatum against him. That is an insane rotation of defenders.
Oh yeah.
3 guys who legitimately could be all NBA defenders.
Who can play good defense.
Who can play outstanding defense. Incredible defense. That Boston may have the best wing defenders in the NBA.
I don't think it's in question.
Yeah. Their wing defense is incredible. But Jimmy Butler will find a way to get it done.
It's going to be a great series, man. It's going to be a really great series.
If Jimmy Butler can find a way to torch the first string starters of the Minnesota Timberwolves, Minnesota, right? So don't take that too highly. But if you can find a way to torch the first stringers with guys who are borderline G League guys,
you're welcome for showing this earlier. Bringing it back
right?
up.
He's going to will this team to at least 2 games.
I can't wait to see.
At least 2.
I can't wait to see it. It's going to be an amazing series. Both are going to be really great series. We're going to have bare minimum 12 great games between these 2 series. I can't wait.
Bare minimum 8. Bare minimum 8. I think both. I think all 4 teams are way too good to get swept, though.
I agree. Bare minimum 8 games. I still say at least 12, but bare minimum 8. All right, we got one more piece of the NBA. This is a real NBA dominant episode. There's just not a whole lot going on in the NFL right now.
If you've had conversations with us privately about the podcast, you kind of knew this was heading in this direction. It was the same thing last year.
Yep.
It's the same thing right now. Just not a whole lot to talk about.
We haven't learned our lesson.
No, neither has we talked about him earlier. NBA young boy. Well, this is NBA dumb boy.
Ja Morant.
Yeah, that motherfucker don't learn a lesson.
He needs a parent,
not a friend,
not a friend,
a parent,
because he's not getting it. Earlier this year, he flashed a handgun
in a club.
Whatever, I don't know what kind of handgun it was, but he flashed it,
which is illegal in Denver.
Yeah. It got leaked. There was pictures, videos, the whole 9 about it, and he got in trouble from the NBA because it goes against their code of conduct.
Wasn't nothing to leak. It was on Instagram Live.
There you go. But it was against the NBA's code of conduct.
Right.
You can't do it. So he got suspended. He took some time away from the team. Allegedly got his mind right, came back. They made the playoffs. They lost in 6 to the Los Angeles Lakers. Well, LeBron apparently sent this man into a downward spiral. I'm joking, of course.
Yeah.
Ja Morant was caught on Instagram Live again, flashing
another gun.
And
I've seen a lot of people talking on Twitter about it. The issue isn't whether or not Ja Morant is allowed to legally own a gun.
He probably has his license and is perfectly fine.
Yes, that's not an issue. The issue is that the NBA has a very, very big problem with brandishing firearms.
Yeah, it's just against the NBA's code of conduct. You can't do it.
Right. You are not allowed to do it under NBA law.
Right.
In the laws of the NBA, That is something you are not allowed to do.
Right. He probably has his permit in Tennessee. I don't know what their gun laws are down there. He probably has his permit or wherever in the hell he lives. It might not be in Tennessee, but whoever was taking the video on IG Live, like, you could tell as soon as he fucking saw it, he like threw the phone down.
Right.
Like, he knew immediately. He's like, dude, like, he had to look down like, John, what the fuck are you doing, dude?
And that's the thing that really blows my mind is that the people around him have enough sense of like what you just did was wrong.
But he doesn't.
But and that's the he just doesn't get it.
And look, I don't want to sit here and like drag the young man through the mud because like at how old is he? 20, 21,
We can
22?
say young man because we are older than him.
Right. At 22 years old, what is he?
I'm about to look at him now.
Do you think I was making good choices at 22? No.
No,
God, no.
I definitely was. He's 23.
23. All right, I was making better choices than that at 23, but
Yeah,
I still wasn't making great choices.
Not a lot though.
Not many. But like, come on, dude. Like, you literally just got in trouble for this 3 months ago.
Yeah.
Like, for the same exact thing. It's not even like it was like off by a little bit. It's like, hey, John, you can't show your guns on Instagram Live. Okay, I won't do it in the club anymore. I'll do it in the car. No,
Right.
John, that's not what we said. You just can't do it.
Right. And like I've seen people, like some people have said, oh, well, what if he was just in his driveway on his own property? That's not the point.
It's not the point. The NBA code of conduct is you can't just be flashing guns on Instagram Live.
Right. And see, the big problem for the NBA is also, you know, I'm not a fan of the Memphis Grizzlies by any stretch of the imagination.
It's fair.
I'm just not. Dylan Brooks not being there makes it a little bit better. But whether you like it or not, Ja Morant is one of the faces of the NBA right now.
Yeah, he's a young star in the NBA. He's very electric to watch. He could touch the rafters at the top of the gym if he wanted to. Like, he bounces out of the gym.
And he's incredibly marketable. Incredibly marketable.
Especially
Powerade. He's got to deal with Powerade. He's got
Remington.
Okay, guy. He has his own. He has a deal with Powerade. He has his own damn shoe with Nike, right? So I mean,
Glock.
Are you done?
No. Not even close.
Why don't we just get him a sponsorship with the U.S. Army?
Yeah. 6 Hour.
Oh my God.
H&K.
Why not H&M?
He could if he wanted it.
Their bulletproof vests collection.
You know what's crazy is Nike dropped Kyrie Irving for sharing a link to a movie on Amazon or a book on Amazon.
That was anti-Semitic.
It was anti-Semitic. It was just a link to a book or a video that you could watch if you wanted to, read it if you wanted to, don't if you don't. It's fine. It's up to you.
To put things bluntly, this guy's literally fucking around with his own life.
Like, he's literally just like flashing weapons just for S's and G's.
Right.
And like, I have no issues with guns. I don't care about that. Like, it's just in your job there is a rule that defines whether you can or cannot do this one thing.
Right. And it's not like the gun isn't even the issue. It's the fact that you were told not to do something once, and then not even 3 months later you get caught doing it again.
Same thing.
The same thing. As of now, Ja Morant has been suspended by the Memphis Grizzlies. He's been suspended from all team activities. Doesn't mean a whole lot. It's the fucking offseason now at this point.
Right.
But there are a lot of rumors that the NBA is going to say, fuck this.
Take the year.
The Grizzlies, you dealt with it once. You couldn't fix it. We're going to fix it.
Do you think they tell him to take the year off?
I don't think they tell him. I don't think they suspend him for a year. That's extreme, I think. One time, okay. 2 times, now you're just being plain fucking stupid. If you do it a 3rd time, then I think that warrants you got to take a year away. 2 times, I think a year's a little extreme. I think that would be a little much. I don't. It's going to be a significant suspension. I don't think it's going to be half the season. I think anywhere from 10.
It was like 8 games before.
Right, but he was suspended by the Grizzlies, I think, for 5, and he decided to take another 3 away to make sure that he was better.
Okay.
So he was given 5 before. I think a realistic number of what you're going to see him get suspended for, I think it's going to be anywhere from 10 to 25 games.
I was going to say 20.
I think that 15 to 20 is probably the sweet spot. I think 10, you'll have people bitching. 25,
You'll have people bitching.
If it's in between those two numbers,
You'll have people bitching.
But I will say this: if it's 10, I think people will complain about it but be okay with it. If it's 25, I think people will think it's harsh, but I think people will be okay with it. Anything in between there, I don't think is too lax. I don't think it's too harsh. People are still going to bitch because a lot of people just don't understand what's wrong with this, which is crazy to me. I watched an interview. It's a rapper from LA. Not 100% sure about his name, but he was doing an interview with somebody, and he was asked about Ja Morant and asked about this whole lifestyle that he's trying to portray, right? And the dude said, "I wish Ja Morant would come hang out with me. Not on some beef shit, like not on beef at all. You want to be a part of this lifestyle? I'll show it to you." I mean, what did Ja Morant was throwing up gang signs? I don't know if it was Blood or if it was Crip.
I have no idea.
I think it was Crip because this dude was a Crip. That was openly a Crip. The rapper from LA. And I believe he said that, not on no beef at all. Come hang out with me for the day. Come see me for the day. I'll show you what this lifestyle's about. And crazy thing is, this wasn't like Ja Morant never grew up in this environment. He grew Ja Morant doesn't come from riches by any stretch of the imagination. But he wasn't. Based on what everybody says, he didn't grow up in a gang-filled environment.
Ja Morant's embodying the Sean Kingston song. I could take you there. I could take you to the tropics, or I could take you to the slums. Shawty, I could take you there.
Right, and the thing is, I don't know why, because Murray State, you weren't seeing Ja Morant do this. It's just as soon as you get to fucking Memphis, and really, it's as soon as you got paid.
Yeah.
Now you think you're a gangster? Come on now. The NBA had a problem with, one of the faces of the NBA at the time, one of the best offensive players. Gilbert Arenas got blackballed after this.
Mm-hmm.
The NBA will not skip a fucking beat if they decide, okay, you're done.
Yeah.
Yep, you were done with this.
In the nation's capital, they did that.
The nation's capital. Gilbert Arenas was a little bit more extreme. He literally brought guns to the locker room.
Yeah, it's a little bit different, but
that was a little bit different. But the NBA has had such a rough past of character issues.
Well, also just the social issues with guns back then were lesser than what they are now. I think it's the only reason that this is getting more blown out of proportion than what it is. Ja Morant didn't shoot anybody. He wasn't pointing a gun at anybody. He literally just flashed a gun, whether it had a ammo in it or not, whether it was clear or not. Who knows? We have no idea. But it's the fact that it's the rule of the NBA that you cannot do this. We told you once 3 months ago, or however long it was. You did it again.
Yeah, now here you are doing it again.
It's like you say fuck around your mom as a 12-year-old. She tells you not to say it. Then you say it again.
You're gonna get smacked.
The punishment's gonna be worse this time.
Yeah, the punishment is just going to be worse. There's no way around it.
They tell you, hey, that's a bad word. You can't say that. Don't do it again.
Right.
That was the first time for Ja. Now you're gonna get soap in your mouth.
Right. And the problem is, I said how marketable he is, but if you're a parent, we're in a different situation right now, so I don't know what your answer would be.
Because I'm not a parent.
Yeah, right. I know what my answer would be if somebody asked me this. if my child asked me for Michael Wilbon said it today on whatever show he was on. I think it was Get Up. I could be wrong. But he said, I will not buy my son John Morant shoes.
Yeah, he said we're not spending our family's money on that.
Right. Like I'm not doing that either. Like this guy has serious character issues.
Yeah, I mean, you have a son that's looking out to NBA player. Who would you rather him look up to, Steph Curry or John Morant?
Right.
I mean, both are faces of the faces of the league. Both have their own shoe line. It's you just don't want your son idolizing a guy that's flashing weapons.
I'd rather have my son idolize my opinion of a dirty player, Chris Paul, as opposed to John Morant.
Yeah,
because this is how it's going to go down. Memphis is not a great city.
I don't know. I've never been there. Can't judge them.
Like people always say how dangerous Memphis is. It's not as bad as Baltimore.
Well, there's not many that are.
No, but it's like wrong place, wrong time. This happens again, you're gonna see a headline: Memphis Grizzlies star guard John Morant indicted on murder.
Jesus, this escalated quickly.
But this is how it's gonna go, because like if you're keeping that thing on you, and if you're hanging out with the people that you're hanging out with, that like the NBA can't tell you stop being around them.
Yeah, it's up to you.
That's entirely up to you, right?
That's why I said he needs a parent.
Or do what they did, or do what the Rangers did with oh man, what's his name? Their center fielder, Josh Hamilton.
Yeah.
Hire a babysitter for him.
Good.
But if you have a gun on you and you're hanging out with the people a part of that lifestyle, all it takes is one bad opportunity. The same thing happened to Ray Lewis. You're gonna see the headline: John Morant shot someone and killed him. John Morant was shot and killed. It takes one bad instance.
I agree.
That's all it takes, and that's what I don't think John Morant is like grasping. Because just because you and yours have it on you, that doesn't mean that people coming after you aren't going to have it also.
They're probably a lot more willing to pull the trigger too.
Oh, they're quick to pull the trigger. Are you kidding me? People with nothing to lose. You have everything to lose at this point.
Oh yeah.
$200 million.
Generational wealth.
Generational wealth. That is wealth that I would do anything to get that type of money. A lot of people would.
Yeah.
And here you are. You have this golden ticket. You are that guy.
You worked hard to get here.
You worked incredibly hard to get here. From nothing to something. A 0-star prospect going to Murray State turns into the number 2 overall draft pick and one of the best players in the league.
It takes 3 seconds to fuck it up.
That's all. And right now, the first clip was a second long. Mm-hmm. This one was a second long.
Takes 3 seconds to fuck it up.
That's all it takes. And if this happens again, which I guarantee you at some point it will, this season he'll learn his lesson. He'll stay low. You won't hear nothing from him. At some point, this shit always happens again. And you're done.
I was just going to say, you're going to see the headlines, star point guard John Morant released from the Memphis Grizzlies after another video surfaces, blah, 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 whatever.
Conduct detrimental to the team.
Yep. And that'll completely void their contract.
Yep, completely voids it.
They could do it now if they wanted to.
Yeah. Yeah, they really could. And the thing is, they even had a team meeting before the first instance where Steven Adams got in everyone's grill about going out, clubbing, partying, all that shit. And then here you see John Morant on IG Live now twice holding a gun.
Steven Adams asking for a trade.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Look, John, we're not trying to drag you through the mud, buddy. You just got to do better. Like, you know better. It's time to do better.
And you have people looking up to you. You have people who expect better.
It's time to put the big boy pants on, make big boy decisions, and stop trying to be somebody you're not. It is what it is.
It's wild, man.
Wild. All right, we got 2 more topics to touch on in the NFL, just real quick. Matt Ryan, former MVP of the NFL, former quarterback, lost 28-3.
That's enough.
Blew the lead there. Had to throw it in there where I could. We'll be working for CBS next year.
Yeah.
He's going over to the broadcasting side. I don't think he's broadcasting, but I think he's working on like the panel, like the pregame panel.
Yeah, he's not announcing his retirement. He even said that in his tweet when he announced that he was joining the CBS team. He's strictly just, I don't know if he's calling games or if he's just going to be doing pregame, but now he's starting to transition into the next stage of his career. I don't know who would give Matt Ryan a call.
He's done
midway through the season. I think he's probably done as well. Unless there's a fucking catastrophe of a quarterback situation that somebody needs him. But
maybe Miami.
Who knows?
He actually do really well down there.
Well,
neither here nor there.
Yeah, neither here nor there. In other news, a guy who we've talked about a few times on the show spurned the Ravens of a contract to go join the Minnesota Vikings. Zadarius Smith wanted the trade. It was granted. He is now a member of the Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, they gave away. It was Zadarius Smith, and
it was 5 pieces total involved. It was Zadarius Smith, and then
a 7th, I think, or a 6th for 2 5ths and a 7th, I think, something like that.
Yeah, it was a little bit weird, but again,
Zadarius Smith is going to be lining up on the other side of Myles Garrett. Not really a fan of that as a Ravens fan.
To be honest with you, they said
the same thing for Jadeveon Clowney.
Said the same thing about Clowney. I'm not entirely too worried about it. Myles Garrett has never really had a whole lot of luck against the Ravens. Surprisingly,
it's fair.
He's never been like a major game wrecker against the Ravens, which has always surprised me.
Because he is a major game wrecker.
Because he is. He like we just happened to like catch him on the week where he's not going to do a whole lot, so we're in good shape. But yeah, him and Zadarius Smith. They're going to be going tandem in tandem for the upcoming season. Does that give the Browns the best 1-2 punch in the AFC North?
For pass rush?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You think it's better than TJ Watt and Alex Highsmith?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Just curious.
And simply because I think Zadarius Smith outweighs Highsmith much more than TJ Watt outweighs Myles Garrett. TJ Watt is better than Myles Garrett as just a pure pass rusher. But Zadarius Smith is much better than Highsmith.
Okay. Just curious on your thoughts about that. That was kind of just a question out of left field, and I just didn't know what your thoughts were.
I mean, I personally thought you were going to say Cam Hayward and TJ Watt.
Well, I mean, Cam Hayward's not really a pass rusher. He's more of just like an interior type of guy. Like, pass rush has never been his forte, you know?
Fair.
I mean, don't get me wrong. He fucking can.
He gets there.
He's been one who's given the Ravens a lot of fucking troubles over the years.
That bastard.
But ultimately, I think I don't really think Zadarius Smith's going to be until I've seen otherwise. I mean, you would think with Myles Garrett being on one side and another guy with immense talent being on the other side, you would just think that it makes a lot of sense. But it didn't work for Clowney. They gave him more than 1 year too.
True. He's still a free agent.
He is still a free agent. So yeah, that is that. Also, one more thing I do want to add, in case you haven't noticed or not, there are a lot of people who are looking into this. Stetson Bennett's been at Georgia since 2017 and has not graduated college.
Probably wasn't the focus.
PhD.
Probably wasn't the focus there.
I'm just saying. That's not good.
He was probably focused on touching bums and winning championships, which we know he at least did one of them.
That's true.
All I'm saying, probably wasn't the focus.
Good point. But 2017,
it's fine. If you don't think about it, it's okay. Just don't think about it.
I think Stetson Bennett is my age. Because if he enrolled in Georgia in 2017, that means he had to graduate in 2016, right?
Probably, yeah.
That's not good. I'm 25. I don't have a college degree. I went to college for a semester.
He probably took one course a semester, and they were probably all bullshit. He probably didn't even do half the work.
Fair.
I don't think the education was ever the goal for him. Like I said, I think he was there to touch bums and win championships.
Remember that clip of the one college quarterback? I forget. I think it was EJ Manuel was in his college dorm room with 3 of the chicks who were helping him study.
Legendary.
That's Riz.
That is Riz. That is Riz. All right, let's get on out of here on a Tuesday. We'll see you guys on Friday. Hope you all have a good week. Stay safe, make good choices, and hopefully we got some more NFL news for you on Friday.
Fingers crossed. We'll see what happens throughout the week. We may have to manufacture some
talking points.
We've had no problem doing it before. We'll do it again if we have to.
Absolutely. Well,